Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at Shira David. Baruch Hashem, we're upstairs now. It's so much brighter here. It's so beautiful. Baruch Hashem.
We can speak our mind.
Baruch Hashem. Shabbos of Baruch Hashem. Unbelievable. Parshas Vayikra, right? We're starting a new sefer today. This Shabbos, Baruch Hashem. There's so much written on Vayikra. Unbelievable on that little aleph. And then it says all the things about the different karbanos. We'll speak some Mitzvah Hashem. Today we're learning Hilchos. We're in Likutey Halachos. We're up to Hilchos Beit Hakneset, and today we're up to letter Yud. Halachos Vav Yud. Okay, so 6 and 10. So we were learning yesterday the beautiful thing about giving the covet to the Beit Hakneset, to the Beis Medrash, and giving cover to the Beis Hakneset and the Beis Medrash means that you don't look for your own honor. You honor the whole idea of the shul is to give kvod shemayim, right? Like the Gemara talks about Beroiv Am Hadras Melech, right? The Gemara in Megillah speaks about the whole idea about going to the Megillah and the whole idea of shul. Beroiv Am Hadras Melech. The more people you have brings more grandeur to the king, and that's what the whole idea. That's what the whole idea of shuls are, and that's what the whole idea of the Beis Medrash is, and so on. So again, the kvod is supposed to be for Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Not a person's not supposed to take covet for himself. All right?
So now we're saying it's better to have one big shul than many small shuls. Which we see opposite.
No, but we said not all shuls are created equal, right? We said that, not all shuls are created equal, right? We said that, right? Depends on how in other words, you may have a big shul, but they may not be doing the right thing. Like we said yesterday, we were talking about the migdal, right? When you had the Dora Flogger, they were making their migdal, right? They were making their migdal. They wanted to wage war with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? They didn't understand that. Hashem just showed them who's boss when with Noah, right? I mean, with the flood, right? They didn't understand that. Like Hashem showed who's boss, right? It destroyed the world and was only left with Noah and his family. And then a couple of generations later, they're making a tower, going to wage war with Hashem.
So he created disunity among us. Mm-hmm. Hashem created disunity by separating all of us. They were unified when they were building it.
Yeah. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu separated them.
Right, so he created disunity.
That's right.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah, so now everyone thinks that his shul is the right.
No. So then we said like this. So we said now, and those people, and then the Reb Noson's time. Let's remember something. The Enlightened movement was running very, very rampant in mostly in Germany. That's where they were. That's where they started, and that's where they were running very, very rampant. And I mean, if you understand even the history of Breuer, if you understand the whole history of the German Jewry, right? The Yekish, they were constantly fighting against it. It was a big milchama against the Enlightened movement, because all the German Jews were so integrated with the Germans. It was similar to when we were in Mitzrayim, right? We were so immersed amongst the people, we became like the people, right? Okay, so Reb Noson said that these guys, what they wanted to do is they would build a big shul, right? But they would make their shul, we can go to shul on Sunday, why do you need Shabbos for? We could be like everybody else. And then what do you need Hashem for? We'll make our own rules and so on and so forth. So Rav Noson was saying, so obviously that's a very big problem, right? That's a very, very, very big problem. And so again, when we build the shul and anything we do for the shul, it's all for kvod shemayim. That's what it is now. So now we're going to take it. We're going to go further now. And today we're going to discuss this idea of Yud. Here we go. V'chol zeh marumas b'divrei Rabbeinu Zal in Gemara and Shabbos Yud Aleph Amid Aleph, so 11a. Shamru she'osa lagbia beisai mi beis Hakneset. Right? You can't don't build your house higher, make it more more prominent than the shul. Right? Don't do that. Because it's all about kvod shemayim. Right? It's all about honoring HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So don't build. The Gemara is telling you, don't build your house taller and make it more glamorous, so to say, than the shul, right? Right? A lot of people do. You see that. You go to some neighborhoods, right? And you see these beautiful mansions, and then the shul is whatever.
Yeah. I think you got caravan.
Yeah. You could find that in a lot of a lot of places, right?
Absolutely.
You can see that. You can see that. You can see that. You can see that in America, in many neighborhoods, right? Like you can go to back Lawrence, right, and and Woodsburg and all of these places, right? And you see these some of these properties are larger than like an apartment house. I'm not joking. Some of the footprints of these houses are larger than most apartment houses that you'd find in Brooklyn and Queens, and bigger. And then you go to the shul, and it's yeah, okay. It shows what your importance is, right? You can go to California, you can find the same thing, right? You go on the West Coast or the East Coast, what?
Someone talked about that a few weeks ago when he came out from America.
Yeah.
He said he was in a house somewhere in New York. It was so big. He said the living room and the kitchen had 2 different zip codes.
Yeah. Okay. That they actually have. There's actually in Far Rockaway, where Far Rockaway joins with Lawrence, right? So there's a few houses that one half of their house is in New York City, and the other house is in Long Island. It's funny, yeah. That does exist.
I don't remember where it is.
Okay, but okay, let's stay with the lesson. Okay. So don't build your house great. Okay, ki abayis shel kol echad ze bechinas kavod. Their house is the kavod of himself, right? A person's house is his honor, right? A person's house is his honor. Okay, ki ikra kavod hu bechinas beisay shel adam. Because, right, the main honor of a person is his house, right? The person they want to make their house as nice as they can, right? But again, the question is that what do we do with the shul? That's the main thing, right? Here we go. K'mayshe kosev ki yirba k'void beisai k'mayshe kosev b'tiferes adam l'sheves bayis. Right, the splendor, the honor of the person is his house. Right, people like to make their house very glamorous, very nice, and he'll invite people over, see all these nice things. Like, whatever, people get carried away with their homes. Right, we know that. Okay, I know. Also like don't make your house. See, Rav Nassan's doing this here. The house is your honor. Right? You understand? The house is your honor. We just showed you that, right? So don't make your house greater. Give it show more honor than you showed for the shul. You understand? Give the covet to Hashem. Like be a Yosef in Beit Hakneset, higher than the Beit Hakneset. Listen, he means higher than the Beit Hakneset. That's the actual law. But you can extend that to say, don't make your house much more glamorous than you're making your shul. Right, you can say that also, not just the height. Right, you can extend it to say what?
Void basin.
Void basin, right. In other words, I want the finest chairs in my house. I want the finest of everything. When it comes to the shul, well, this chair's good enough. But that's not right. Look, we have to sit on these plastic. Right? Okay, right. See that? He was sitting on plastic chairs. Who in the house is sitting on plastic chairs?
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. The same ones?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Some of them.
Well, it should be a little less.
Okay. All right, we have to work on it. Okay, we'll have to get some better. Okay. Shaloi yitzachas v'sholem like be a kvoidai al kvoid habeis hakneses al kol ad shekol kavanosai beoskoi bebinya beis hakneses b'kiyumai hu b'shvil kvoid atzmai chas v'sholem. In other words, that's what we don't want to do. You don't want to make it. And, and a lot of people they want to put their name, they have to have their name on the shul. It's a very important thing, right? Hashem, my name's on them. My name has to be on the building, right? And this is a thing that we understand that we are. I mean, but look, if a shul needs the money, if they're an Erlicha place and they need the money and they put their name on it, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, it's not. But again, what's the thing is that what the person's honor, what he feels inside. Hashem knows that. Like a meisid calls a person up, they want to honor you for a dinner, right? Right, so people, this is great. Honor me for dinner. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows. You accept those things not because if let's say you're a prominent person in the community, and then people know that you're affiliated with this shul, so then other people will give money and they'll donate money and this and that, so it's a mitzvah to do that. Right, but if a person gets carried away, we see that they're honoring me. No, but you understand when you're doing it. There's your real intentions. Hakadosh Baruch Hu knows that, right? You understand, right? You want to say something? No? Okay.
I wanted to ask,
Yeah. Go ahead, Elder.
is it a way like fulfilling yourself and be who you are is also part of Lavodat Hashem? I mean,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But here it seems that you have to, delete yourself and just serve Hashem.
No. Don't delete yourself. You can have nice things yourself, but don't make your things more important than the Hashem's. No one's not saying you can't enjoy your life. The whole derech of the Baal Shem Tov is to have nice things and thank Hashem, right? The derech of the Gra is stay away from everything because you may get in trouble with the world, right? And you see that people do get in trouble with the world, right? But you can. The Baal Shem Tov says, go out in the world and take Hashem with you. Realize Hashem is with you. Right? Shivisi Hashem l'nei sama. That's how Shulchan Aruch starts. Remember, wherever you go, you're taking Hashem with you. Right? It's very simple to remember that, right? We know as long as the neshama is in the person, he's alive. Right? The neshama leaves the person, well, that's a guf without a neshama is useless, right? So wherever you're going, you're taking Hashem with you. It's very simple to remember that.
Maybe I'll give it through an example.
Yeah.
For me, it's much more interesting to write my own books and to work about it, to make my own, movies and theater and things, than praying for the book, because it's boring to praise Hashem in the same word, and it's not, so maybe I don't work Hashem, I work myself.
No, but okay, so who's giving you the ability, think about it, who gives you the ability to write, to make your play, whatever you're doing, whatever you're working on, who's giving you all these ideas? Who's giving you those machshamot? Where do you get those thoughts from? Hashem's giving them to you.
Yeah, but
so again, do you say koyach v'oitzim yodi also liyasa choyel hazeh? Do I say that? Right? There's a person ram levavai. A person's heart will get very lofty, and they'll say koyach v'oitzim yodi also liyasa choyel hazeh. Right?
No, of course, but of course I refer it to Hashem, but it's just a long time you do the mitzvah and the davening and all of it. I rather use this time to do my own things.
Okay.
Like how many hours I just wasted saying all those boring davenings.
Wow.
Yeah, and I want to do it. I prefer.
But you were saying the other day you were just the other day. Wait a second. You were saying the other day you were afraid with the songs and this and now you changed that whole thing. Wow.
It always change,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Yoshev Beseter Elyon B'Tzel Shaddai Itlonan.
What did you say?
You'll explain it to me. Yeah, okay. Ki azhu b'bechinas b'inei hamigdol, because then if the person does that, he's building that migdol, the tower. Right? Like we said, they were trying to build yesterday's life. They were trying to build a tower. Right, so if he's going to make his house so glamorous and so nice and so ostentatious, right? He said that's what he's going to do. So then he's making his house that's like making the migdal again. He's going with the Dara Floga again. Kitzarach lagbia rakes habeis Hakneset she'iyah gavoya. You have to make the house, the shul, Hashem's house, should always be higher and more beautiful. Higher and more beautiful. Habotim shebayir than any of the houses in the city. All right, so this is very important. This is halacha. The Gemara brings it, and it's halacha l'maisa. You'll find this in Shulchan Aruch. This is halacha l'maisa. Okay, so again, you can always do that, and we can always realize that you put your money with the shul and make sure the shul is beautiful. And you see, people do that. Right? People want to donate something beautiful to the shul, and they spend a lot of money. Like I remember when they were building Eish Kodesh, so there's a beautiful Aron Kodesh in the front of the shul. I'll show you the picture of it. It's mamish fantastic. I mean, it's about 20 feet tall, and it's a work of art, of woodworking, a work of art. And there was a person that had a lot of money, okay, and then he wanted to donate this, and he spent. But you see, that's a more beautiful piece of furniture than he has in his house, right? And that's the whole thing, is you want to give something better to the shul, then you would need, and then we have our, okay. Limsa es hakavoid labeis hakneses, levatal es kavoidai neged habeis hakneses, lebeis hamedrash. Right? So in other words, Rav Nosson is not telling you can't have a nice, comfortable house. He's not telling you that. But if you have a nice, comfortable house, make sure that the things are just as comfortable in the shul. That's what he's saying. Right? Don't take more covet to yourself, and you invite people over. You say, look at this, I bought this, I have these chairs, and at this, it's very comfortable. Okay, you can have it, but also make sure you want to give the covet to the shul. Okay? Tikkun habeis hakneset lebeis hamedrash hu ayedei riboy kevoid Hashem Yisbarach shenisraber ayedei kibbutz kol hanefashos. Right? We said the more people come into the shul, right? You have kibbutz nefashos. That's called the riboy habatim. We learned about, right? That's when you have more people. You have two stones gives you 4 gives you 8, right? And then it goes to 32. And then before you know, you have 10. You're already you're in a million, right? We learned that, right? And then you go to 12 and the factorial, right? 12 and 13 and 14, the numbers become exponential, right? So that's called the riba. So the main thing is bringing more people in. So we said if you make the shul a warm, friendly place, right? A very warm, friendly place, then more people will come in and they feel comfortable at home in the shul, right? And we were learning, like, you don't worry about that this is my makom kavua, right? We learned these things, right? Where makom kavua, we said in Shulchan Aruch says within your dalet amas is your makom kavua. Right? So the worst thing is a new person comes in, he came in early, he's sitting in your seat. Right? So sitting in your seat. So what do? So now you could go over to the fella and you could say, this is my seat. Right? So then how's that guy going to feel? How's that guy? He's going to feel out of place. He'll be scared now. If I sit in this seat, the next guy will come and tell me something. If I go in that seat, the next guy will tell me something. He's not going to feel comfortable in the base of. So then that's the whole. You're doing everything counted the way you're supposed to do. Make people feel warm, and that's why Shulchan Aruch says sit within your dalet amas. Yeah, you're supposed to have a makom kavua. That's halacha in Shulchan Aruch. But Shulchan Aruch also says you can be in your within your dalet amas is your makom kavua. So that's either 6 by 6 radius, right? Or 8 by 8. It depends how you want to say an amma is 1.5 feet, or you want to say an amma is 2 feet, whatever this is, whatever. But it's at least 6. So now within 6 by 6, you have a lot of seats, right? You have a lot of seats by 6. So if you sit over there, you sit next to the guy, whatever, that's good too. Or you sit down next to the guy and you say, Shalom Aleichem, I want to welcome you to the shul. Right? I want to welcome you to the shul. Right? There you go. Then he feels comfortable. It's a whole different. You change the whole paradigm of the whole thing, right? You understand by just how you approach the person.
So when you go in to sit down somewhere,
Yeah.
I think about it. I wonder if this is someone's seat. I think it's like, because I want to respect. They may not understand, but so I.
So ask somebody where's a good place to sit.
Yeah. And then, but in this show, they say, you can sit anywhere,
Well,
which is fine. But when I walk,
You just gotta ask.
You can always ask somebody. By the way, I'm new here, and can you just tell me? Maybe like some people are away this Shabbos, or this guy davens at a different minyan, and this time he's not going to be at this minyan. So sit over there.
but should I just go sit anywhere because
You can do that, but then and again, if we're talking about someone sitting in your seat, right? That's what we're talking about. So you normally sit in this place. Now, what do? Do you make the person feel welcome and you feel warm because again you want more people to be part of the shul, right? To daven, to bring more kvod shemayim, right? You want to give more glory to Hashem, right? So that's how we're saying. That's one idea, okay? Because we said we want to have the kibbutz nefashos, right? And then you come to understanding the idea of chidush ha'olam, right? We keep talking about this Rav Nosson through Likutey Halachos. He's going to keep telling you this. The idea, what is the idea of Chiddush Ha'olam? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always making the world anew. The world is not the same place as it was yesterday, and tomorrow will be a different place again. Now I know the Yetzer Hara lets us believe that I'm in the same world and I'm stuck in the same problems and everything's the same. But no, you have Chiddush Ha'olam. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is always renewing the world every day. You're a new person too. Remember we learned about that. We were learning in Birchas HaShachar, right? We make the bracha every day. Shelo yasani goy. Hey, wait a second. If I'm the same guy as I was yesterday, why am I making a blessing? Shelo yasani goy again. If I wasn't a guy yesterday and I'm the same guy, why am I making a blessing again? Right? If you made Birchas HaTorah yesterday, so why are you making it again today? Elamai, you're a new. There's a new chelik hanashamas in the person today. You're a new bria today. So now I have to make the blessings again, right? You understand? The whole idea is chiddush olam, to remember that, because again, if you remember, you know that no matter what the person got involved in, no matter what he fell into, he can always pull himself out when he realizes I'm not the same person. So long as he thinks he's the same person, and he has to go, you go for psychology, they want to figure out the problem, they have to investigate back and go back, right? And all of that. Come on, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All that psychology is a bunch of nonsense. It's truly a bunch of nonsense, because again, if you understand you're not the same person as I was before, so I don't have to struggle with the things of yesterday. If a person believes that, right? If the person believes I'm a new person today, I'm not involved and I'm not struggling with the things I had yesterday. But that takes emunah, right?
Remember that? Freud said that.
Right, Freud said that, yes. Yeah. I'm not trying to make a tikkun. I'm trying to make the tikkun. That's what I'm trying to do, yeah.
No, you're afraid, so you said that.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in God.
I don't know I don't know. I never read any of his things. I have no idea.
Really?
I never read
it.
them.
Huh?
I give you my word. I never read anything he wrote.
Oh, I believe, but it's your name.
Okay, so what? Okay. This is the true psychology right here.
Wow.
This is the true psychology. I believe this is the true psychology, okay? Okay, so Chiddush Olam Levatel Le'aked Deyos Beinei HaMigdal, to uproot the whole idea of the Beinei HaMigdal, those guys building the tower, because they wanted to wage war with Hashem. They wanted to have a boxing match with Hashem. To keep Hashem, they wanted to keep Hashem up in Shemayim, and we'll run the world the way we want to run the world, right? You stay up there, Hashem. We don't want you down here. We're going to build a tower upstairs, and we're going to keep you upstairs. You stay there. We're not letting you out. It sounds silly, right? But what were they trying to do?
They were trying to build a beautiful synagogue.
No, they were trying to build a synagogue like the Reformed and the Reconstructionists and those guys, right? They're trying. That's what they were building. Again, not about Kvod Shemayim. It's what we want. What? Make for us a Shem, right? We need to have a name, right? We need to have a Shem. Nasalanu Shem. Right, okay, so in the sense of Ikar Kedushas Yisrael, okay, Beinei HaMigdal, Ikar Kedushas Yisrael, Shazeh Ikar, the Amunah and Chiddush Ha'olam is the main the Kedusha of Klal Yisrael. You understand that? Right? The main Kedusha of Klal Yisrael is the way a person can keep his Kedusha. A person can become a Kadosh. Right? If he understands that what I did yesterday has nothing to do with me today. Now, I'm not saying, Reb Nosson is not telling you that you don't have to work things out for the things of the past, but he's giving the person a way that he can have a jump start on a new beginning. If you understand Chiddush Ha'olam, you can always have that jump start on a new beginning. Now Reb Nosson is not saying that, this time you have to do tshuva. That's what his Beit says. I know he speak to Hashem about the things that I did wrong and ask Hashem for forgiveness. And say to Hashem, listen, I'm sorry, Hashem, I did this, and this, and I'm sorry. Please, Hashem, I don't want to do this again. I feel so terrible I did these things. And please, Hashem, guide me, help me, so I don't fall to this again. Rely on Hashem. If you do that, if a person is constantly doing that, so then he understands it's all. Now, that doesn't mean the person may not fall again. It says, Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'kam, right? Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'kam. Why is he a Tzadik? He keeps falling because he keeps getting up. Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'kam, but he gets up. He falls, but he gets up because he believes in Chidush Olam, right? That's the whole idea. Okay? That's this. So let's go to Yud Aleph. Okay. Okay, V'alkei Nema B'Shevach Yerushalayim. And now let's talk about Yerushalayim. Okay, we said Yerushalayim is the Yorei Sholim. Now Yerushalayim is the headquarters of all Kedusha in the world, right? That's the headquarters. We said there are 10 levels of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael, right? And the highest levels are in Yerushalayim, correct? We learned all these things, right? And then because of Yerushalayim, a person can always say, Koyach Masav Higid Li'amay, right? Koyach Masav Higid Li'amay. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells them that I was the one that created everything, and I take it away from them and I give it to you. Right? Well, we learned all about that. Remember that? We learned that idea, right? We learned the idea of Yerushalayim. And the same way HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Yerushalayim to the 10 nations that were here in Yerushalayim, right? They were in Eretz Yisrael, right? He took it away from them and he gave it to us, right? That's the first Rashi in Chumash. First Rashi, right? Why does the Torah start with Bereshis? To teach you that Hashem made the world. He gave the lands to who He gave them to. And they didn't do the right thing, so He took it from them and He gave it to us. And we said that's the same principle that we can use, works with a person taking over a land anywhere in the world. Right? A person anywhere in the world wherever, let's say the person's in Russia, or the person's in America, or the person's in England, or in France, whatever, any country, doesn't matter. You have a Jewish community gets together, and they decide they want to buy a piece of land, right? But they're going to say, list them out there. Right? You're thieves. Why are you stealing the land? But if you understand it the same way, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the land to them. But again, the nations of the world are not always doing the right thing. We know that. So if a Jew can come and then he can claim that land, right? And he takes the same idea of Eretz Yisrael. But the problem is over here, our government doesn't believe that Hashem gave us the land. That's the problem we have over here, right? If they would understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they would learn the first Rashi in Chumash, that Hashem gave us the land, it's our land, then we wouldn't have all of these problems. Right? We would not have all of these problems. All the problems would go away if we just believed it. Right? Anyway, it's all Yerushalayim. Sipru Migdaleh. So it says, talk about the Migdal, the beautiful the buildings in Yerushalayim. Right? Migdaleh daika kihema hepich mibaynei hamigdal, because they are the opposite of those that were trying to build the tower against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Right, the main migdal that we talked about is really the Beis Hamikdash. That's the tower that we really want to build. It's on the mountain, right? It's on Har HaBayis, right? And that's the mount. That's the bayis that's going to stand taller than all the buildings in Eretz Hashem. Okay. Okay. Tzavarech kimigdal Hashem, right? Okay, Shenemar ala Beis Hamikdash, right? If that's talking about the Beis Hamikdash, Shul Bechinas Batei Kinesias Batei Midrashis. And we learned today that we have the HaKadosh Baruch Hu scattered us around, right, the world, and He gave us the Batei Midrashis and the Batei Kinesias, the Batei Midrashis, and those are the Migdash Ma'at. Remember we learned that? They are the small Migdash. They're a satellite office. They're satellite offices from the Beis Hamikdash. Every shul around the world, every shul, every study hall, every Beis HaMedrash that there is, that they're trying to keep the Torah, and they're bringing more covet Shemayim. That's connected to Eretz Yisrael. That's connected to Yerushalayim. That's connected to the Beis HaMikdash. Okay. Ki mevatlim hamigdal de sitra acha v'osku by beinei hamigdal shekafru b'chidas oil. And now when we build something in Yerushalayim, right? So what they're doing is they're building against. That's going, every time you see a building going up in Yerushalayim, that's going against the builders of the towers. Those builders of the tower, they want to go against Hashem. And that's why you see the whole world goes crazy when we build in Yerushalayim. Right? They're going crazy. They go crazy. They can't believe it. What are you doing? You're building in Yerushalayim. You're going to knock us down.
Are those buildings at all?
Listen. I'll tell you like this. Look, when it came in Russia, for example, when you had the communists there, right? They were petrified. They were petrified if Jews would get together and make an underground minyan. They were petrified of that. They went crazy about that. Why? Because they knew that these guys that would come to that minyan, if they would come, those were guys that were not worried about their own covet. Those guys that were coming to that minyan in those circumstances were coming because they wanted to bring more kvod shemayim. They didn't care who's going to get shlishi, who's going to get shishi. Those guys didn't care. Right? They just wanted to bring, and the Russians knew that. They knew that. And they also know whenever we're building in Yerushalayim, that's going against them. It's the same idea. It's fascinating. If you learn the history, how they were right? The KGB were crazy. But there was a minute. What? Huh?
They were Jewish too.
What?
They were Jewish too.
I understand. Those are our worst enemies, right? That's the Erev Rav.
Yeah. They knew like where to
That's the Erev Rav. Right? They knew also, right?
Yeah.
Right? They were the ones that made them. They were the ones that made the Egel Azov. Right? It was the Erev Rav. What was the problem? That we didn't say anything. Right? We didn't say anything. That's what we were guilty of when it came to the Egel Azov. Right? They made the Egel Azov. Right? How did they know the witchcraft. Right? They knew the shemos, the incantations. So when Aaron threw the gold into the fire, they said whatever they said. They knew about these things. They learned in Mitzrayim, and that's how the Egel Azov came out. Aaron couldn't believe it. Right? All right, well, anyway. Vayedei habatei kinesios habatei midrashos sheim bechinas beis hamikdash ayedei zeh mamshichen emunas chidush haolam. Through the batei midrashim, through the batei kinesios, how you see a shul builds up. Here, there's nothing there. Now there's a shul standing there. So you see, it's like a chidush haolam right there. You see something new. It wasn't there. You understand? There was no base medrash there. Now there's a base medrash here. That's chidush haolam. You see, everything's being renewed. You understand? It's a demonstration that things change, that everything is always changing. And we know that we learned about in Hilchos Beis Hakneset, we learned in Hilchos Kriyas HaTorah, right? We learned about, right? Every time the Torah comes out, it's another Kabbalah, it's a mini Kabbalah HaTorah. Every time the Torah comes out, and you're listening to the Torah, right? We learned that from the tzaddikim, the Arizal teaches every time you hear Kriyas HaTorah, right? You have the Torah coming out, and if you realize, you can feel, and you can feel that this is like Mamash Har Sinai. And I'm hearing these words from the Baal Koreh. This is like Moshe Rabbeinu giving the teaching over. So they say that you can get a healing from whatever a person needs healing. He can get healing whatever he needs, because the same way we know when we were in Har Sinai, everyone was healed. Everyone was healed from whatever problem they had. Right? Don't forget, the Jews were in Mitzrayim. Right? They were slaves. So they were beaten, and they were missing limbs, and they had all kind of problems. Everyone was healed. They got their limbs back. Everything was healed. So the same way that we healed by Har Sinai, so the Mekubalim say that you could, if you really believe when you hear the Torah that this is mamish like Kabbalah HaTorah, and the same way they were healed, then you can get healing too. Isn't that amazing? But again, you have to believe in Chidush Haolam, right? You have to believe in Chidush Haolam for that to happen, right? Because again, if the person lost his arm, he lost his leg, the person doesn't have his eyesight, the person doesn't have Chas v'Sholom, any of these problems, so then and then he can get it back again, but you can only get it back if you believe in Chidush Haolam. Because if the person doesn't believe in Chidush Haolam, hey, so now I don't have it, you don't have it. Finish, it's gone. Huh?
It's not happening. It doesn't go back.
But it can. It can. No. But
Are we
but
counting my
again,
bank account is the same as yesterday? Maybe even worse.
but again, if you realize it's all about Chiddush Olam, so we have to daven to Hashem.
Right.
To realize and beg HaKadosh Baruch Hu about the banking, it's Hashem puts the money there. It's Hashem putting the money there. Anyone that's in business knows. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? When you're in business, you see something that you had no idea where this money came from. The money shows up, right? David, could you say that, right? It happens all the time.
All the time.
It's not about what I do. It's about what I believe. The belief is so powerful. The belief is so powerful. The koyach hatfil is so powerful. When we daven to Hashem, the words of His Beit are very, very powerful. But the Yetzer Hara tries to drive us crazy. Yeah, why bother saying it? Why bother saying the words of tefillah? You got Eldad here saying that I'm saying all these words. It doesn't mean anything. See that? That's the Yetzer Hara. He doesn't believe anything he said. He said those words because he doesn't believe a word what he just said. He doesn't believe a word what he said. He doesn't believe it. Right? He doesn't believe it. I know that. Okay. The Kedusha. Okay. V'zer shekosav sham bonu l'tal piyois. Right? Look at that. Elef hamogen tolu olav. Right? Look at these words here, right? They're building the big buildings in Tal Piyot, right?
There, yeah.
You see right there, the big
tall
tower.
buildings,
Yeah. The twin towers they built over there, right? They're beautiful, right? Beautiful towers. Okay. In Yerushalayim. Right? Shenemar al Kabbalah Satori Kamesha Perish Rashi Lisham Nimshach Beginis Kabbalah Satori. It's all about Kabbalah Satori. It's all about the Torah. Kol Sultani Geboyrim. Right? We talk about that, right? In Tehillim, right? Okay. Ki ikir kol atikun nasa ayedei Geboyrim Bali Koyach. The real tikkun happens through the people that are Bali Koyach. Look, we had a big problem with the Egel Azov, right? Moshe Rabbeinu goes to bat with Hashem. Right, we read that every time we have a fast day. Right, we read about what Moshe Rabbeinu had that tefillah. He had that tefillah with Mamish. He was waging war with Hashem. What he was Mamish waging war with Hashem. That's a tefillah that he did with power. That was a powerful tefillah. And that's what we need. We need the koyach. We need these type of things. Nasa yedei giborim baalei koyach sheyecholim l'spalo tefillah bechinas din, a tefillah of din. That's when you see, if you want to understand how a tefillah of din works, you look how Moshe Rabbeinu dealt with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And again, you can see the tzaddikim. You can see the way that the Kedushas Levi, how he went to bat with Hashem. Right? Amazing. Mamash amazing what these tzaddikim did. Amazing how these tzaddikim went against Hashem, but they did it again with the utmost respect. With the utmost respect. You have to be, you're talking to Hashem, and Hashem wants you to wage war. Hashem wants that challenge. He wants you to challenge Him. You understand? That's a tefillah b'din. No, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you gave me these children, and I need the funds. I need to buy them a nanny. Hey Hashem, please. Hey, I want to do the right thing. They need what they need. What am I supposed to do? Daven to Hashem like that. Right? You need money in your bank account. Daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Look, I have the kids. I have the family. I have to pay the bills. Right? And then if you daven to Hashem and realize the money is coming from Hashem, the money will show up. The money will definitely show up. It may not show up exactly when you want it, but because again, Hashem's not He doesn't do things in that way that you answer, you get instant gratification, right? Today we like instant gratification, right? Right? You know, when you're trying to upload something or download something, if it takes another 2 seconds, you go, what is it? It didn't happen right away. Come on, right? You know that, right? You're right. You're trying to send the email, and it's taking time to go out. I want that thing to go out already. Oh, so it takes another minute. So what? That's what Kadosh Baruch Hu said. It's a mashal for the nimshal, right? You daven, you don't get it right away, but you'll get it. It'll come. You'll see. You'll see. It'll come in. It will come in. And Metz Hashem, it'll always come in if a person believes that his words of Hakadosh Baruch Hu are really heard by Hashem. If he believes the words are heard by Hashem, then the mamish they'll always come in. Okay, so I think we're going to stop over here now. And then we're going to learn our Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and today we're going to finish the ideas of Birchas Kriya Shema, which is very exciting because we're finishing a an idea here.
Okay, but
From Rambam.
We finished 10, and no 11.
I have a question here.
Yeah, we did 10 and 11 today. Yes.
Sometimes, all we can say is, Hashem, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I know you're going to do what's best for me, and I may not get what I would want for ideally,
Right.
but it's all going to end up being good.
No, so I told you I had a Rebbe that was in when we were in Cheder, and he always we should tell us that always remember. I told you this before, but we could say this 100 times. It's okay. And remember, look at Hashem's track record in your life. Look at Hashem's track record in everyone's life. Everyone can look back at Hashem's track record, right? And he has an amazing track record in everyone in their own life. Think back of all of those difficult situations you were in and how Hashem brought you to Yeshua for each one of those things. And even though you didn't think it was Yeshua at the moment, but go back a couple of years. You see how things manifested and things turned out. It's amazing. It's mamish amazing. And if we realize that, so if you do that, you can trust in Hashem. Right? The whole thing is about having betochen in Hashem. Right? We talk about emunah is trusting in Hashem. Right? Emunah is believing in Hashem. Betochen is trusting in Hashem. Trusting in Hashem. That's betochen. Right? What's the difference between emunah and betochen? Is what I believe. Betochen is how I demonstrate what I actually believe. Right? I'm demonstrating how I believe, what I believe. A lot of people believe a lot of things, but you don't see their actions that they don't jive with their actions. Don't belong.
I believe that the tires are going to get my car to where I need to go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to drive it now, so I trust it. I trust
Yeah.
it works. I trust the tires.
You trust the tires and the steering and the brakes.
But you believe it's going to work. That's one thing. But actually getting in the car and letting it go, and you guys got cars and you believe it's going to stop before it hits the car in front of you. It's amazing.
That's right.
You
right.
trust it. You
Yeah.
believe it and you trust it.
Yeah. That's the mashal for the nimshal again, right? Trust in Hashem. Trust in Hashem. You'll see it always works out.
The challenge is there's a lot of people that it didn't work out for them.
Look in your life. Don't look at other people. Everyone has their own situation. You think it didn't work out for them, but how do you know what you don't? Again, we learned that we can't. We can't judge anyone because we can't come to the Mishnah says to his place. Hey, we barely know what's going on in our own lives. I'm going to go try to figure out what's going on in someone else's life.
A lot of people that went through suffering, and then in the end they died, and they davened.
But that's
No. But wait a second, boy. Listen, Sasha. Don't prevent. We all, Sasha. Every one of us, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
We can't escape that. But if Hashem brought them to whatever it is, and if that brought them to tshuva, and then they died, right? That's the main thing. Look here. See from all these chatufim that were released.
Yeah,
you see how they were machzik in emunah, and they took on mitzvahs, and you see they got through. And these were some of the people didn't know about mitzvahs before.
Yeah, but those who didn't get through, that would never.
But we don't know if they did tshuva. We don't know. That's not my problem. That's not our problem. And if they died al Kiddush Hashem, so they won. Right? That's the highest place. Person dies al Kiddush Hashem, he dies because he's a Jew. He gets killed because he's a Jew. Look at Rabbi Akiva. He was mitzvah every day. When am I going to be able to die al Kiddush Hashem? Right? We learned about that. And then he died when then said it, but then we asked the question. He died when he said echad. Remember we learned that? He didn't die when it says b'chol nafshecha. Right? Really, because when you say Krishma, you say b'chol nafshecha, that means you'll give your life up al Kiddush Hashem, right? B'chol, with my whole, my soul, my nefesh. I give up my whole soul. I'm willing to give up my life for Hashem. But he didn't die then. He wanted to die. He died when it said echad, right? Because it said why? Because that's the metzach harotzah. Remember we learned these things, right? We learned all these things. That's the metzach harotzah, and that's connected to Ravin, the Ravin, right? And he wanted to come to that place. Again, we have no idea.
Why do you think that's
But Rav Nassan's telling us, look in your own life. Don't worry about other people. Don't worry about other people. Look at your own life. with your own life. You can't even worry about your kids' lives. That's their life. Each person has to worry about themselves. They have to make their own tikkunim. Everybody has to make their own tikkunim. Right? Kids will do what kids are going to do. Right? We raise them. We do the best we could with them. Right? We daven for them. But how are they going to grow up? What am I going to do? I have nothing to do with it. And remember that we're shutfim with Hashem when it comes to our kids, right? The Gemara Nida says, right? There's 3 shutfim, right? It's the mother, the father, and Hashem, right? He's a shutfim, right? That's it. Okay, so basically, trust in Hashem, okay?
Is part of the problem that we think that death is a terrible thing? It's not, I mean, it's like we've done what we're supposed to do here.
Exactly.
So what makes it bad? Why do you, just because someone...
No, I'm saying it's not that. I'm saying the challenge of it might happen, it might not happen. And the Rambam says that I believe, the Mashiach will come whenever Hashem thinks it's fitting for him to come.
Right.
But the Rambam says, "Achake loy b'chol yom sheyaveh."
No, the next one. What's the next one? Beit
Hashem. He's okay, fine. He knows.
Yeah.
What do you just say?
Meaning it might happen, might not happen. I might see it, might not see it.
But they also, the Svarim also say, when we came out of Mitzrayim, it says, "V'chamushim olu miMitzrayim." V'chamushim. Right? So Rashi tells you on Vachamushim means they came out armed. Right? Chimush is armed. They came armed. But Chamushim also Rashi says it means a 5th. Chaimish. Chaimish is a 5th. Vachamushim a chaimish. 5th. Only a 5th of us came out of Mitzrayim.
Right.
Could you imagine how many Jews there were? 1/5. That's what, 20%. Right? That's 20%, right?
Yeah.
Right? 20%. So we had 600,000 came out. So that's only 20%. But so the Svarim say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is holding off Mashiach now. He's waiting for more people to do tshuva. Because we learn the Geula, the final Geula is out from Mitzrayim. Right? So if only 20% went out then, the Chas v'Shalom, we don't want 20%. Hashem doesn't want just 20% again this time.
We're not having any Memorial Day for, like a Holocaust, whatever. Like 4/5 of people went. Like we don't even ever mention them.
That's not really true. There's questions are asked. We have on Erev Pesach we do a siyum for the Bechorim. Right, we do a siyum for the Bechorim. Right, there's a fast for the Bechorim. Right,
it's not just
the minhag. No. The minhag in the world is that we don't actually fast that fast. We have a Sudas mitzvah, a siyum, or whatever you're doing, right? A person goes to a bris that day. If there's a bris that day, Sudas mitzvah is fine. Otherwise, you can make a siyum, right? Somebody makes a siyum. The question is why? Why? What are we doing? Why are we making a fast day? What are we doing? So they say because Hashem skipped over the Bechorim, our Bechorim, right? And he smote the Egyptians, right? He smote the Egyptians, but he skipped over us, right? So again, that's a good thing. So why am I fasting? So why would I fast? So we're really fasting for all of those Jews that didn't make it. Think about something. In Mitzrayim, the Bechorim, right, the firstborns, were the upper echelon. They were the ones that were the Galachim. They were the ones that were the priests. Those were the ones that did all the Avodah Zarah. They were running their chapels and their things. That's what they did, the Bechorim. Unfortunately, a lot of our Bechorim joined those Bechorim.
Right, but we're talking about Malkut Choshech, right? When the 4/5 of the...
No, I understand, but we're saying something else. Yeah, Malkut Choshech, that's when they died, right? That's when they died, and Hashem did it that way, so the Mitzrayim wouldn't say, hey, you're dying and we're dying. What's the difference? Right? So Hashem made it when in the second, the Malkut Choshech was divided into 2, right? The first section, the first 3 days of Malchus of Choshech was just darkness. You couldn't see anything, right? But the second 3 days were much worse, and then they couldn't even move. Right? They couldn't even move. Could you imagine that? A guy was diving off the diving board and he stays like, and the guy was sitting down, he's going to sit down on the chair and he stays like that. Right? The guy was walking, he freezes. Right? And that's when they die. No, but let's go back to why we have a fast day for this, because we're really remembering all of those Jews. That's the day we were supposed to remember all of the Jews that didn't come out. Erev Pesach is the time we remember all of those Jews that didn't come out with us. Right? That's the whole point, to remember the Jews that weren't zeicher to come out with us. Yeah.
Should we be concerned about Iran getting a nuclear weapon? No, it fits.
Okay.
Because if we trust in God,
Yeah.
let them get it. Who cares? God's going to take care of us.
Listen. They can get it. They can get a nuclear weapon, and it'll blow up by them. I mean, you see a lot of these guys, these Houthis, they send their things and it blows up by them. And the Hamasniks, they had their things, and many times the rockets blew up by them. Who knows? Maybe that'll just destroy them all. It could be their Yeshua. That could be the Yeshua. What we're worried about can be our Yeshua, right? That could be our salvation.
The pasuk says it.
Yeah. There you go.
What is that?
They will fall on their swords.
Fall on sword.
All their own swords.
They'll fall on their own swords. Yeah, so we don't know. Listen, just rely on Hashem.
No, they're building the whole world to have this big deal about it. You know, like I keep thinking, my thing
Because
is
that's the media. And he wants people to watch it. So
They
that,
have a sword instead of the media.
no, but see, I keep thinking that they're going to get
media,
the bomb, they're
media.
gonna try and blow us up.
Media. What's media? Media. What does media mean, Sasha? Come on.
What does it mean?
Who knows?
Media. Right? That's the word, right? Media. Okay, anyway, let's learn something here in Shulchan Aruch. We're going to finish off today, Baruch Hashem. Today we're up to Hay, right? We're in Tes Zion, and today we're up to Hay. Okay? Here we go. You got the place? Okay. Masha Marnu shemutar lahafsik be'emtza haperek lidvarim shamarnu. Right? So we were talking about the idea, right? When you're in the Birchas Kriyas Shema, we said let's review it just one more time. We're going to finish this. So we said when we're in Psukei de Zimra, you have a license that you can be able to skip different things that you want to skip, to be able to make your way to Shmon Esrei with the tzibur, right? That's the main thing, right? But we said in Psukei de Zimra, the Chol HaPach what you should do. If you really have no time, you do Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach, right? That's if you have no time. Why? If you have mamash, you don't have any time. Why? Because Baruch Shamar and Yishtabach are blessings. They're brachas. So we said, in Psukei de Zimra, you can go back and you can re-say Psukei de Zimra. It's no problem. It's Tehillim. It's all Tehillim. It's no problem at all. You have Az Yoshi, it's Torah. It's no problem at all. Right? But what's a bracha, you can't make up. So if you skip the bracha, you can't go back and get those blessings. So we said those blessings, you have to always say those, l'chol ha'pachas, say those blessings. Now, when we came to Birchas Kriyas Shema, he said, wait a second, but over here, you can't skip. Right? When you come to Yoitza Or of Orei Choshech, from there, you have to go consecutive, through Kriyas Shema, and through Amis V'Yamuna, V'Yatzev, right, whichever one, Ma'ariv or in the Chakras, and you have to go consecutive. You have to just go straight to. And then he told us there were breaks in between where are you allowed to participate with the community. If the minyan is up to something, they're up to Kedusha, they're up to something, they're saying something together. So they said what you're allowed to say together. He gave us an idea, if you remember, if you're in a place where you can't stop and everyone's saying something out loud. So whatever words you're up to, say those words out loud with everybody else. No one will know anyway. And then you're part of the tzibur. You're not taking yourself away from the tzibur. Say the words out loud. Right, but then we said when there's words like Kodesh, 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 right? You're saying Kedusha, Kodesh, Kodesh, Kodesh. Those words are very important. That's the main point of Kedusha. Or Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah, we said, is the main point of Kaddish. Right? So those, you have a license to say even in between sentences. even in between sentences. We said yesterday, but if you said it in between a sentence, right? You didn't gauge yourself. You didn't gauge your time right. And you were middle of a sentence. So say whatever the community is saying, say the Kodesh, say the Baruch Hu, say the Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah, and then say the pasuk again. Start that pasuk again. You're in the middle of a pasuk, right? Start the sentence again, right? If you break the middle of a pasuk, right? If you break the middle of the pasuk, so then start that pasuk again. Remember, right? We got that? Okay? All right, so to now. So these are the breaks that we talked about. Okay. Now, Einai Hadin b'pasuk Shema Yisrael Uvor Shem Kivay Malchusa Le'olam. This is not the law. This doesn't apply to when you're saying the words Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad and Bar Shem Kivod Malchusa Le'olam. When you're saying those words, you can't break in between that at all. At all. Look what he says now. Ki bohem also lahavsik b'chol inyan. It doesn't matter if they're saying Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah. It doesn't matter if they're saying Kodesh, Baruch. It doesn't matter what they're saying. You have no license to stop in between there and join the community. Va'afilu hamelech shoyel b'shleimai lo yavsik le'eshiva. Even if a king, right, your life can be in danger, right? A king. We're not talking about the modern kings today. These kings are a bunch of buffoons, right? But they had a king at the time, right? Where a king would come over to the Jew and say to him, hey, listen, Yaakov Avinu was saying Shema when he met with Paro. Remember, right? He was saying Shema. Huh? Unbelievable. He met with Yosef, he said Shema. Remember, he was saying Shema. Again, he said over there too, right? So again, when the king says something, but he was saying Shema Yisrael Shema, he wouldn't answer the king. He'll hold his hand in 1 minute.
It was really late for me.
What?
It was really late for me.
Uvein ani Hashem Elokeichem le'emes, ani Hashem Elokeichem le'emes, you can't skip either. When you said ani Hashem Elokeichem emes, so you can't say Baruch Hu in between. Because you say ani Hashem Elokeichem, and I'm Hashem Elokeichem, but you have to say the word emes. Hashem is emes. Hashem is truthful. So you can't break in between there either. And v'yatziv gam kein lo yafsik klal mishum diksiv b'krav Hashem elikim emes. Right, because the word v'yatziv also means a word of emes. It means another word of emes. Okay, lekach ein mafsikin bein elikeichem leemes. Therefore, you don't make a break in between elikeichem leemes. Hashem elikeichem emes. Right, so we're saying two ideas now with Shema today.
Because it's possible, right?
Right?
Because it's possible.
Yeah, so you can't stop it, right? But also the statement would not be right. You're saying Hashem Elokeichem, you stop and you say something else? No, you have to say Hashem Elokeichem, emes, and then I can say whatever I want to say.
So you can't break it and go back and repeat it.
No, that you can't. Those here you don't have a license. You don't have a license. You have a license everywhere else except for these places. Because he's giving you the final thing now. Right? He said, really, you can say a lot of things at the break. Remember we started. Where you have a break, you could say a lot of different things. That's not a problem. Right? But if you're middle of a sentence or you're not in a break, so then you can answer, we said the Kodesh, and you can answer the Baruch Hu, and you can answer the Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah. Okay? But if you're in the middle of Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad Baruch Hu, you can. And if you're in the Elokeichem and emes, you can't stop either. You have to say emes, and then you can then you can continue. Really, he says, listen, because again, the yatzav also is another word of emes. It means another word of emes. It's another lashon of emes. Since it's another lashon of emes, so you want to give it a double reinforcement, right? So you're saying Hashem Elokeichem emes v'yatziv emes lamitai, right? The v'yatziv is saying Hashem is emes lamitai. You understand? So that's another lashon of emes. And then afterwards, when you finish saying emes el Hashem Elokeichem emes v'yatziv, now again you can break whatever. If they say Kodesh, you could say no problem. But here he was saying you can't break from Shema Yisrael to Baruch Shem, and there you can't break. And then when you're finishing Shema Elokeichem emes v'yatziv, make sure you say those, and then you can break to say whatever you have to say again. Okay, so there you can't say v'din. Okay, now he says b'em saber edin l'shol b'sholem lahashiv l'sholem b'zman hazeh ein makpidin. If someone comes over to you and says to you in birchas Kriya Shema, they say Shalom Aleichem, right? So there was a time that the Gemara speaks about that. If someone would say they would be very insulted, right? They would be very, they would get baluzik that the person didn't. I say good morning to him, he didn't answer me. But today we're not makbid on that. Today we're not makbid on it. He's saying here we're not makbid. What? Today we're not so careful with that stuff. People don't get bent out of shape with these type of things today. So don't worry about ein lahafsik b'zeh afilu bein haprakim in bein haprakim in birchas Kriya Shema, when you're saying the birchas Kriya Shema all together. So you don't break it all. If someone says to you hello, you don't have to answer them. No one's going to be so upset at you. If you don't answer them, especially if you showed them, you showed them with your sitter. I'm really saying. So today people understand that. Okay, so Baruch Hashem, we finished Tes Zion, and Emetz Hashem on Sunday, Bezrat Hashem will start Yud Zion, which is Hilchas Kriya Shema. It's very, very exciting to learn Hilchas Kriya Shema, okay? Because in Kriya Shema you talk about Mitzrayim. It's Yis Mitzrayim, right? And we're getting ready for Pesach, so with Kriya Shema, it always works out in Yonah D'Yoma. Everyone, I wish you a wonderful Shabbos, and it should be Mamash Alechtige Shabbos. And today we did the Parshas Hanasi, which is today is from God. If you didn't read the Parshas Hanasi today, you can still say the Parshas Hanasi all day, right? And you have the Kedusha of the Shevet of God today. All right, everyone, Kol Tuv.